I made a careless joke that his best friend knew my body better, and he heard it. I should have known better than to let something like that slip. But that night it just came out. We were sitting at the table, me, Ryan, and his best friend Ethan. The three of us have been close for years, but lately Ryan and I were on edge. The laughter that used to echo through our home had been replaced by long, uncomfortable silences, the kind that stretch until someone gives up trying. Ethan made a joke about relationships, about how couples lose their spark after marriage. I don't even know why I said it, but I laughed and blurted out, "Well, maybe it's because your best friend knows my body better than you do." The room went completely still. Ethan froze mid-sip, eyes wide, and Ryan's fork paused halfway to his mouth. I tried to play it off, brushing my hair behind my ear and saying, "Relax, I'm kidding." But Ryan didn't laugh, not even a twitch. His gaze locked on me, cold and sharp, like he was seeing me for the first time. The air suddenly felt thick, suffocating, as if someone had drained the oxygen from the room. Ethan cleared his throat, trying to steer the conversation elsewhere, but Ryan pushed back his chair and stood. "You think that's funny?" His voice was low, controlled, eerily calm. My throat went dry. "Ryan, come on," I whispered. "It was just a stupid joke." "Is it?" He cut in, and the words felt deliberate, pointed straight at me. Ethan muttered something about leaving, but Ryan didn't even glance at him. He just turned and walked toward the kitchen, jaw tight. I followed, trying to explain, but he raised a hand to stop me. "I've heard enough," he said. "More than I wanted." That night, he didn't come to bed. I lay awake, listening to the quiet hum of the fridge, thinking about how one careless sentence could tear open a wound I hadn't even realized was there. The next morning, the coffee pot was untouched. His car keys were gone, and on the table next to my half-finished cup from a night before lay his wedding ring. For the first 2 days, I told myself he just needed space. Ryan always cooled off alone. But by the third day, the silence felt different, colder, deliberate. I called him. No answer. Texted him. Nothing. Even Ethan stopped replying to my messages, and that silence cut deeper than I wanted to admit. I kept replaying the moment in my head. Ryan's eyes, a mix of disbelief and heartbreak when I said those words. I hadn't meant it. Ethan and I had been friends long before Ryan was in my life. There was nothing between us, yet the way it sounded, the words carried a poison all their own. That evening, I drove to Ryan's workshop. His car was parked outside, but inside, he barely looked at me. "You shouldn't be here," he said, voice flat, distant. "I need to explain," I whispered. He finally looked at me, eyes rimmed red from sleepless nights. "Explain what?" "That my wife thinks my best friend knows her body better." I flinched at the venom in his tone. "It was a joke, Ryan. You know how I get when I'm nervous." "No!" He snapped, slamming a wrench down on the table. "I don't know who you are anymore. Maybe that's the problem." I swallowed, holding back tears. "You're twisting it into something it's not." "Am I?" His voice trembled now, raw and strained. Ethan's been distant too. Makes me wonder why he couldn't even look at me that night. My chest sank. "Don't do this. You know Ethan wouldn't." "I thought I knew you too," he murmured, looking away. For a long moment, silence filled the space between us. The faint clink of tools punctuated it. When I stepped closer, he stepped back. "Go home," he said softly. "Just go." I left, but something inside me shattered that night. Once home, I stared at Ethan's last message from a week ago. We probably shouldn't hang out so much anymore. Ryan started to notice things. I froze. Notice what things? There was nothing inappropriate. Yet suddenly, every harmless text, every joke, every shared glance felt heavy in hindsight. I realized the damage wasn't just done. It was irreversible. The next morning, I couldn't bear the uncertainty any longer. I drove to Ethan's apartment, desperate for clarity. He looked shocked to see me, pale and exhausted. "Sarah, you shouldn't be here," he said immediately, glancing past me as if expecting Ryan to appear. "I just need to know," I said, voice shaking. "What did you mean by that message? What is Ryan noticing?" Ethan ran a hand through his hair, hesitant. He's been suspicious for a while. The way we talk, the inside jokes, how comfortable we are, he thinks there's something between us. I shook my head, stomach twisting. There isn't. I know, he replied. But after what you said that night, he trailed off, exhaling deeply. It sounded real, Sarah. You looked him straight in the eyes when you said it. Anyone would have believed it. Tears pricked my eyes. I was just trying to make him laugh. Things have been tense lately. I just wanted to lighten the mood. You lit fire instead, Ethan said quietly. For a moment, we stood there, two people caught in the aftermath of one terrible sentence. Then he added softly, Ryan called me yesterday, told me not to contact you again. That hit harder than I expected. The man I loved wasn't just angry. He was cutting me off from the one person who understood what had really happened. I left without a word. At home, the house felt emptier than ever. Ryan had taken most of his clothes, his tools, even his favorite coffee mug. On the counter, a folded note waited. My fingers trembled as I opened it. I loved you enough to believe your words were just careless. But I can't live in a house where I question every silence. Maybe someday you'll understand what that joke cost us. That night, I sat in the kitchen, pressing the note to my chest, thinking about how fragile love really is, how one careless line can echo louder than years of devotion. Weeks passed. Ryan never came back, yet I couldn't stop thinking about that dinner table. The laughter, the stillness, the moment everything changed. Sometimes I still hear his voice in my head, soft and weary. You think that's funny? No, Ryan. It wasn't. It never was.